Even Curly Way, I could not. Yeah, that would have not have been my seat. But this was the year before we left for Manchester. So we were staying in Guruvayur. So I had asked Harriet about this.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's it. I was trying to reconstruct various moments. Even Sharada Vellima had not got a very clear recall about some of these things. For example, in the 1950s, there were 4 different places. So Anu was born in Madras, but then after that there was Bangalore. And following that there was Delhi. Delhi was next, where I was born.
Delhi,
and then there was Pune, and finally Guruvayur.
Yeah.
So that is the sequence I was trying to reconstruct. How long?
No, Usha and I very distinctly remember your father, your mother, Anu and
I remember this.
Others coming to Trichy.
Anu was
when
born
I was in Trichy.
Chennai.
In Chennai.
First welcome.
No, he was born in Chennai. That's not what I'm saying. When I was collector Trichy, he had Anu, Chidu, and both their parents and Sharada Charema came to Trichy. Do you remember that? Do you remember that period?
Yes, very much.
Hello.
1968.
Yeah,
1968.
Exactly. 1968. And Kunjimal was there at that time, and and he used to play with her. She used to love him like anything, I don't know, he used to have a way with the children. So somehow he used to get her attention, and always she wanted to play with him. That was the time, and from there, I think later, another thing which we remember very well about him was, he was trying my car. He was driving my car, just learning how to drive. And at one point of time, there was a small, he hit against something. And there was some small scar in the car, something. And then he came to see me. He thought I laughed at it. I said, these things do happen to everybody, so don't worry about it. And then he went up, he was quite happy. And then he went away. Later, there's another incident which we wanted to tell you. One time he had come to Madras, and he was not well at all. I don't know whether it was with typhus or with something else.
Jaundice.
And
Jaundice.
Huh?
Jaundice.
Jaundice.
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis. And then he stayed with us for nearly 14 days. Usha looked after him. And then because Acharma had to go away, and nobody was there to look after him there. So he looked after him there at that time. And then
that is 1970. That is 1970.
1970, yes.
1970.
Another interesting incident which I remember very well is after I came back from Cambridge. So I used to tease him. I said, have you become the Cambridge 5 or Cambridge 6 or Cambridge 7? That spy ring which Cambridge had created. You remember that?
Breaking up.
And I used to make fun. And I used to make fun of him.
Can you repeat?
He used to laugh it off with great ease. He never bothered about it. Because at that time, when some paper there was something about Kim Philby and burgers and all that.
Oh right. Okay.
You know that Cambridge 5 they are called. They are called Cambridge 5. Anyway, that was the time, and I was making fun of him. And he was such a nice. He had with great ease he used to laugh out. And I've never seen a person like him. Let me tell you, who was so much at home with everyone. And not only that, he used to be. To create cheer everywhere that he went. 1 minute, my wife pinching me. She wanted to talk. I'll give it to her.
Hello.
Hello, Sherti.
Hi, how are you, Mane?
Fine.
How are you?
Thank you. Yes. How are you, Sherti?
How is Narayani and daughter-in-law and daughter?
You can.
Hello.
Hi, mommy.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Just see your
How are
forehead.
you?
Lower the camera a little bit.
That's better. That's better.
You both are all right?
Yes, we are all right, Usha. How lovely to see you after
Very
so
nice to
long.
see you, Shri.
Okay, love to you. All the best. God bless you.
Lovely to see you, Sherti. Lovely to see you.
Okay. So that was it. And then every time he used to come here, he used to drop in and see us, and then we used to get together. And but at that time you also used to come when Chikucharima was here in
Tinagar.
Tinagar, and we used to celebrate her birthday. You remember that?
Yes.
I'm quite sure that you do. But then these were the days. But I don't. I've even now, frankly, between you and me, I have not yet come to terms with what has happened. Just can't believe such a thing. Most unfortunate. And I always used to remember the great Shakespearean saying when I used to see him. I don't know whether you recall when this is something which has happened in Julius Caesar. Lastly, when Brutus is killed and ultimately Antony finds his body, he said, "Here was a man whom nature created," or something like that, and about a tribute to Brutus, something like that. It's one of the great man. He was a really great man, great. And in fact, we were all fortunate to have even at least the small time we had with him. I'm really happy. But then I'm still feel very, very bad about what has happened. I hope, in fact, I don't know how to tell you all these things. But then when we meet, I think I'll repeat all these things again and again.
Yes. No, I really look forward to coming and spending some time actually in Madras.
You must come and sit. You must come and sit. Chidu, you must come and sit with me here. I think I don't know what Mrinalini is doing. If she can also come, then we can sit together and converse and recall these so many things. You see, instead of giving it in say in a half an hour time or 1 hour time, we can sit together, talk about him, and recall so many of his activities. Okay.
That would be wonderful. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Narayani. Thank you, Ralini.
So nice.
How are you? Radhika there?
Radhika is here.
Hello. I liked hearing what you were saying.
Radhika enjoyed this, liked hearing all these stories of the past.
Thank you very much. All the best. Thank you.
Arya.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to tell you something. When he was born, Anu was born in Chennai.
Sharda Vellima is saying, is Sharda Vellima?
He just started speaking. 1 second.
Yeah. Anu was born in Chennai, in Perswakam, the private hospital where my very close friend's mother was working, she was running the nursing home. He delivered Anu. The little boy, Chiku was very happy, his mother. After a few days, we were sent home. Home is my elder brother's house. We were staying there, and my brother had 2 sons. The second son used to fondly tease Anu. And I think that was the beginning of the Indo-Russian relation. Because that they were so close. After that, they have been so close. Every time that Anu went to Delhi, past, he would stop over at Babu's place, discuss something with him and go. So that's all. Anu was very particular about Hindu rites and things like that. Talking about birthdays, he did not, everybody has a typical Malayali birthday feast. Many people nowadays say, why do we want the same thing? That is have biryani and I would insist that it should be a typical Malayali sadhya we call, with the routine curries and things like that. It's very particular. My sister's 84th birthday was celebrated in Chennai in the temple. It is like a full day's puja. My sister could not come except for a short while in the afternoon. But believe it or not, Anu was in the temple from morning 6 a.m. to 9:10 p.m. Ready for all the rituals and all whatever happened in the temple. He's so particular about it. When his father passed away, what I needed after some time he had to go to Kerala. There is a place called Tirunavaya, where all cats and all are taken. So he came to Guruvayur, picked me up. We both together went to Tirunavaya with Ajit Chinan. You have seen him. And he finished the rites there. Then we went back by car, stopped for breakfast, and went to Mangada. Mangada is Sri Kumar Mama's home, Jay Kumar's home. So we stopped over there. We had lunch. Then his brother took him to Palghat by car for him to proceed to Calcutta. So everywhere he was very fond of doing that. He visited people who he knew, visited friends, visited relatives. I remember when coming to Madras, Chennai, my cousin was ill in Mahabalipuram. I know took the trouble of going there all the way, 35 kilometers, and seeing him and coming back again. Like that, anybody who was in any relation around, and he came to Chennai, he would see all the relatives. 5 minutes, whatever it is, but he would see all of them. He was so very attentive, made them feel good. If you look at her, you say, I love you. And then you say, I can adjust with you. I know you're a friend. I know the person, the common man's person. Virtue is not lost. Like Rudyard Kipling said. So, any time you wanted to talk to Anu, he was ready. You don't have to have an air-conditioned room with good furniture. A staircase or a corridor is enough for him to talk about the most important things. He was the most, I have never seen him idle. He did not know how to waste time. Everywhere he went, either he will talk to somebody and find out everything about them, or he will read something, but it will be useful. It need not be connected with his speciality, but still something to find out about somebody. And when there's always the same, when you talk to somebody, there is a relationship established. And he was like that. So very, very friendly with everybody. Very sweet, compassionate, empathetic. I am wondering, he had a childhood, both of them had a childhood. Remember, they studied in 4 states in India and 2 outside to a foreign. Their parents never thought of putting them in a residential school. They looked after them and they were very happy. And they adjusted to the environmental changes, language, culture, other teaching methods, etc. Everything they adjusted. So they were able to adjust and fit in anywhere. That prepared them for the life of independence and work and responsibility. His social capital was very high. His personality was such that you cannot but love him. I missed him terribly so much. The last time he was here, he just was after going to Pondicherry and coming back. He went back to Delhi, Kolkata. So happy, so some. I can still see his face like that. I don't know, it's very difficult. And you know one thing, I know looked after his parents as well as he looked after everything else. To the end, he was with them, arranging everything for them. He took full responsibility. When illness or wellness, he did. His mother was so fond of Chennai. She wanted, I know, and the family to come and settle down here. She was even thinking of making an extension in the flat little flat that they were staying. But it was not possible. So then every year they used to come to Chennai, and the two boys would spend a month arranging the flat, doing everything, and then staying with her. And during the last year, his mother was not well. And you know, she has cough and she was, so she is in bed. So every day I used to phone them to find out how she is. One day when I phoned, no answer. 3-4 times during the day I phoned, no answer. Late in the evening when I phoned, what were you doing? I know you can't leave her alone. No. I was sitting at her bedside and watching her breathing because she had cough. That's the way he looked after. Good. Yeah, I know can't leave her at all. Even if he goes away and she misses it, he'll immediately run out and look for it. I know, where is Anu? So that is how even in the last days, I don't know how we managed. Living on the second floor, she lives on the second floor. Anu has got his office, his family, and looking after his mother, organized nurses and all that, that is true. But nevertheless, she would always ask for him. So therefore, he had to be around. He'll have breakfast with her, teach her how to sing, not teach her, she knew sing with her, everything. Make her walk, all these things. I don't know where he found the time between office work, home work, mother, illness. Most wonderful. I said my sister has done great punyam in the last Janma to have two sons like this. My dear Chidu also is there, and really wonderful. We want to go to our old habitat, that is Jodhpur we were living in when we were small. She wanted to go there. So they took her all the way, showed her and went through the house where we were living. It was called Ship House because it was in the shape of a ship. They saw all that and then they came back. She was sorry that so many of those places had been a beautiful polo ground, completely gone. And there are residential facilities. I was very sad about all that. And then one day I found him here when they were staying in Srinagar. I found him here. Why have you come? What happened? I came because it is the wedding anniversary of my parents. And he wanted to took them to Chengalpet, Mahabalipuram, where they spent the honeymoon.
Right.
So you can see how sensitive he is to everybody's feelings. So I can say more. You will spend the time with me. All I can say many things. I don't want to keep you on, but it's difficult not to think of this.
Thank you so much. That is a beautiful. So many memories come up, from that.
Harry's house. Once they were living in Harry's house. I was in my house. I used to go to the hospital every day, 8:30. Till 10:30 I had work. And I would go to General Hospital for outpatient service. On the way, pick up these kids, drive them to Higginbotham. They will get down there, spend a lot of time running around reading books.
Jayakumar, I think.
They would go to the next restaurant nearby and sit down for banana split. That is their favorite. Banana.
Yeah.
By the time they
Banana
finish
split. You
that,
used to get a banana split.
and take them home. So it's just a small but very pleasurable. Very exciting. Nice time. Had a nice time with them in Nairobi. Safaris and outings and all the animals. Wonderful. And these two boys, when they were studying, they were going to school in Nairobi. Their mother will
Hello.
be cooking, and there they will be in the sitting room, not sitting, but lying down on the floor with their hands like this and watching TV at the same time having the lunch. Leave the kitchen sitting lunch going.
Small, yeah. In Chennai.
Nairobi.
Nairobi.
Say, no, come sit here and do.
ചാച്ചര അതിലല്ലേ അതിലല്ലേ എത്ര ആളെ കൊന്നല്ലേ എല്ലാം കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചു പോവാം.
So, many stories I can tell about my darling. I want to tell you, Narayan, that you were thinking that he was ill and his body would not able to.
ഞാൻ ആരൊക്കെ ഭാര്യയായിട്ടിരിക്കണം അല്ലേ?
That's not right. It's perfectly I know. The problem came when he had so many duties to perform. And one mistake he made was not consulting, talking, sharing with anybody else or giving them part responsibility. He took everything upon himself. That is a bit too much for him. That's trust. But I don't think even that is responsible. Only this wonderful virus.
Just an announcement. We may have to restart the meeting because the maximum time limit is 40 minutes. So Saurabh will send a link again in a minute. So it's just people just join in, just like we have done before.
Okay.
Fine.
Saurabh, can you just send the link again?
So we exit and then we get a new link.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, because
Yes.
I did not have a yellow fever vaccine, this thing. I had to stay there for more than 4 years or something. What a wonderful time we had together. We went to the Kenya National Park and Mombasa and all those things. I don't know whether you recall all those things.
That's right.
And we had a great.
I remember.
I had not mentioned that. Anyway, I think you and Mrinalini and Tapu should come here to Chennai after this, and we must get together and we must recall all those lovely times which we had with Anu. Please come. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely. You know, Hariyatan, actually, there was a lot of 8mm film.
Also. Where is Mrinalini? Where is she?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. Okay.
Mrinalini, today I sent you the message, Hariyatan. So she and Tapu.
Chandranagore, no?
Chandranagar. Yeah.
Have they come back?
They've come back, but they're very tired. It's a very long journey.
I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Very well. Very well.
I remember that 1967 visit very well. In fact, that was 1967. And in fact, we went, actually Chittu is not here and Indu Amma is not here. But we went and visited. We also saw, I think, Indu Amma's parents in Mombasa.
In Mombasa.
That's right. Dr. Patel and Mrs. Patel.
Yes.
We saw them as well. That's right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Indu Amma and Chittu are off the screen. They're not connected.
That's true. That's true.
They're not connected.
So otherwise, okay.
Radhika is very interested in this phenomenon of people lying on the ground watching TV and eating. So she's very
I see.
Chavelima is we are very bad, you know. We are completely media fixated.
What did you say? What did you say?
No, I was just saying, Radhika was very fascinated to know about this very strange habit of lying on the ground, looking at TV and going on eating, which you noticed in Nairobi, which you saw.
I'm going to
So
do it
anyway,
tonight.
what can we say? Huh?
Told me.
I don't think Harika.
I'm coming.
Wait a minute.
I'll come again.
In
Have to set up the house, everything, redo the thing, everything. I'll be coming every time to stay there. I'll come here.
Eppo.
I know. When last visit?
March. He had promised to come in June.
July.
July, as usual.
We were planning to visit in July together. So we're going to come in July. That was the plan.
That's a good thing. Come, all of you should come.
We will definitely come. Sure. So in fact, it's very frustrating. At least we can do this because of this coronavirus stuff. We can't even sit and meet and chat. You know, it's becoming a big horrible, absolutely horrible.
Yeah. It's horrible.
So nice today, Chibu. You are feeling good after a long time. To see all of you.
Hello, Harika.
Hello, Mama.
How are you?
I remember super excited.
Hello, Chitu, you're back.
There she is, yeah.
I want to confess
No.
that all that Anu did, all his academic achievements, I never knew anything. I am not aware. I only know of his Indo-Russian business and one or two conferences they attended. Never knew anything about it until I read all the tributes. I feel ashamed. When he comes, it's only for fun, chatting, this thing, that, and so many things. So, never used to discuss his work. Strange, isn't it? But I knew he was doing everything.
He actually was very interested in other people. He's not necessarily wanted to talk about himself or about what he was doing. So he was much more curious about Shavelima, about her life. And I've never heard he managed always to pull out some dimension, the past, things which he would not necessarily have talked about. Over the dining table, and you'll see there are characteristic images of Anu with his little notebook. And he's scribbling on one side, taking it down. Because throughout that thing with Amma, there was never any interview, no taping, nothing. Is there that notebook? And he's continuously kind of scribbling little notes. With Shavelima, he used to be doing the same thing. He was doing the same thing. He's not interested in saying, I did this, I went there, I've done this, I've had this intellectual collaboration, I've written this thing. None of that. He was really interested in the people whom he met with and the story. And everyone has noticed this.
I remember he used to once phone me in the middle of the afternoon. I think I was fast asleep. And he woke me up and said, Erti, what did you used to have at tea time in the 1950s? I said, what palaharam did you have? I said,
this story.
Because he's writing his mother's memoirs. And he wanted to cross-check what she had. And after reading it, I realized she used to have very sumptuous teas.
So you notice actually in the Nikitin thing, it's dedicated to Amma and her teaching him about the importance of the small things of travel. And you get little kind of biographical details about all the people, the collaborators who are involved in that thing, including their eating habits, their personality quirks, and food becomes a very important dimension of how you can actually set up a situation and make, enable or facilitate things to happen. And he had to keep track of all of those kinds of things when he was handling different personalities. So food is always, I think, he realized how important it was, apart from his personal interest. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that he would, he always wanted to connect people. So he'd say, okay, I'll come and see you and have a coffee with you at the India International Center. And then I can take you in the car to Sapru House to meet. I said, I don't want to meet those people. He said, no, I'm going. So you come along. So I'd be taken as a kind of piece of baggage along with him. Of course, there would be some connection ultimately. And then he'd go. I mean, he maximized every minute he had in Delhi. When he came here, he planned out his route, see everybody, go to every place he wanted to, and some extra things which he hadn't planned on. Thank God he wanted it.
And it was a bit of a challenge. This month-long visits which he would have the last 2 years with Amma in T Nagar. Because he could not afford to allow her to be by herself. No, so literally he was cooking, doing everything, and he would be stepping out. So I would come for the first week, then I'd come for the last few days. And that was the moment. And he'd run. He'd be meeting academics. He'd be going to libraries. He'd be, checking out all sorts of ideas he had, conversations which he wanted, but which he would have put on hold during those 4 weeks. He had to put those on hold in some. Of course, he had his tab, he had his mobile, and all that. But still, there's.
No, I was surprised at her attention. Age. See, my sister became very difficult to manage in the last year. She won't eat, she won't. She'll make, what do you want, mummy? She'll say something. Made and brought, I don't want. That's the way she used to be. So difficult. So even if I say, what shall I make? I don't know. She may not eat, she may eat, I don't know.
Video conferencing.
Sometimes
Calcutta, Delhi.
was given, I said, don't give
Went
him.
to Nairobi.
3 cities.
Give it out of trouble. How he won't scold her, he won't force her. So gently he treated her. He say, go to the hospital. Lady nurse do that for you.
You would never see that.
And I know, you can write a chapter on that. Every good dish he knew, every good restaurant he knew what to order. His mother to good restaurants.
Was okay.
Yeah.
So we had this long debates about Varta Mamsam and how it is being made. Chanta used to have this, she used to finally scratch her head in exasperation as to what this Varta Mamsam curry is. He used to debate endlessly the difference between Madras Varta Mamsam curry and the Kerala Varta Mamsam curry. I never realized that. But you used to make it over here. No? And it has to be with this exact standards.
Also about mutton korma.
And he told her, Chindu makes the best Varta Mamsam with hardly any.
There's always a debate between the Madras Varta Mamsam and Kerala.
Fighting it.
Saurabh, why is so quiet?
Saurabh is organizing and recording.
Saying that we are behaving properly.
I am trying to save some chicken from being burnt.
Saurabh, I think this is the first time we are meeting.
No, I came to see you at your house.
First time we are meeting, and that too over a video call.
No.
Thank you very much.
Me and Niharika, we came to visit you at your home.
Yeah.
November?
Yes. I remember.
We were supposed to come.
I will never forget organizing 3 people's different timetables and trying to shuffle.
in Chennai. Okay, right.
Yes.
And then Himadri and Shruti visited. Okay, right.
No, not Himadri's. After Niharika's experience, I decided better not to get involved.
They were there. Ask anything. Saurabh, when are you having lunch? Ask Niharika. When are you going to bed? Niharika. Ask Niharika.
Ask Niharika. Saurabh is referring to Niharika.
No, she was with multiple meetings. So he was enjoying his break. So we had a lovely time. We could go around. So I and Jaikumar, we went for early morning ride in the city. And we went to the beach and we had a lovely, we saw the rising sun and the coming rains, and we had to run and save ourselves. So it was lovely experience.
I don't know. We were cheated. In 1982, we were all in Madras. Remember, Annu was also there. Tapu was there. This is before they got married. She had come there to do some work. And we were there with the children. And unfortunately, the sun never rose that day. We went to the beach and there was no sight of the sun. We were very cheated.
Wedding.
Back in, in 19, this must have been early 80s then, Narayani. What you're referring to?
82.
82.
Before
82.
the wedding. Yeah.
Right.
Tapu was staying in some hospital. And Annu happened to be there in Madras, oddly enough.
He was always kind of running after and getting work done for Tapu also, because I remember it was 1988, 1989. She was doing some work on Ravi Verma.
That's right.
On Ravi Verma at that time. And so I remember his kind of tracking various illustrations and things which had to be kind of grabbed. When he and I went to Koilon, we went to Trivandrum and all that. Koilon. Yes, that's right. So he was a great resource for many people, including Tapu also he made sure that she got everything she needed, and on that occasion, I remember that she must.
She says so in her book, but for him, kind of. So important.
I think Velima may have to leave now. I think has to have a.
Chidu,
oh, yes.
Chidu, I don't.
Okay.
Chidu.
Yeah.
Chidu, I don't know whether there was a time when Anu, Usha, and others had gone from Nilgiris to Wayanad and spent some time in their estate there for about a couple of days' time. And they were, after looking into the tea estate, as well as the wild animals, the deer, and he also spotted a porcupine, I think. And he was very happy to have seen it. I told him not to go anywhere near that porcupine because it'll always, you may get shot with that one of its quills. So I said, don't go there. But anyway, he was happy to see all those things, the wildlife in Wayanad.
That was from Kunur. From Kunur, they went to Wayanad? No.
Yes.
Kunur.
Yes.
Kunur. Okay. That must be in the late 80s, I suppose. Must be in the late 80s, I suppose, sometime.
80s, yeah.
No. I'll close.
Chardhavelima has to leave.
Yeah, she has to have the medicines and all.
He has to.
But it's been wonderful. Thank you so much, Chardhavelima, for.
She has made a request. She's made a request. She's wondering if everyone could join once in a while, like this.
I see.
We should do that. Yes, we can. And by the way,
I must thank Saurabh.
Is this being recorded? Is this being recorded?
Yes.
Is this being recorded?
Yes, I'm recording it. I'll share the recordings with everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway, Saurabh, thank you very much for this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, we must do this again.
Thank you, Narayani. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to chat with you.
Thanks, Saurabh.
And
Situ, thank you, Situ.
Okay, bye, Hariyatan.
Thank you, Radhika.
Thank you, Hariyatan. Thank you, Hariyatan.
Nice to see you. Thank you, Radhika.
Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Radhika. Thank you very much.
Thank you for letting me share in this family.
Nice to have you, Hari.
Thank you, Chidu. Thank you, Chidu. I mean, getting together like this is very wonderful, Wonderful.
That's very nice. Very nice.
Harimama might sing the national anthem now, out of practice.
Let me sing the national anthem.
Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Bye bye.
All the best. All the best. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye, Shaveli mein. Bye.
Bye.
Chittu is Indumai there?
Yeah, mommy is here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you see her?
Hello,
Ah.
hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Indumai.
I've been listening to everything.
Oh, good.
I've been listening to everything.
Yeah.
Can you hear, Chidu? Okay.
Very well, very well.
I
Very
don't know
well.
if the sound is.
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah. So we were just remembering 1967 and the visiting your parents in Mombasa.
Yeah. I know.
Uh,
It was long time ago.
Yes, yes. That's right. And Anu always was trying to encourage.
remember
Yes.
Your voice is gone, Chidu. One second.
No, I'm
Okay.
listening. I'm
Hello?
listening to Indomai.
Yeah,
I
no,
want to listen to Indomai.
you were saying something. Okay.
Wanted to listen to it.
You were saying something, no, mommy, about
No,
when they
what
were
I'm
small.
saying is, I only remember of late, whenever he goes to the airport, he'll come in for 5 minutes. He say, I had 10 minutes to spare. I came to see you. And that will be so many times, and that's the last things I remember about him. He will always come in, breathe in and breathe out, but always come to say hello. So I always remember him like that. Full of beans,
Fortunately,
always.
yeah. There's a lovely photograph of the two of you, which fortunately Chittu took. And
Yeah, that's
everyone
a
now
photo
has
which
that.
I took last year of you and Anu. That's a very nice picture.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful. So that was it. He would make sure he met everyone. That's right.
I don't know where I've lost the video. Okay.
The video is kind of gone at a
No,
strange
it's here.
instance.
Okay, it went. Now it's come back. Yeah.
But Chittu, you seem to sort of go round like the earth somehow. You sometimes
Why?
You're angling the camera.
I know, and I've got my fingers stuck in the middle also sometimes. Actually, I don't know if I'm doing it on the phone, which is actually small, so it's difficult for mommy and me to. Are you doing it in front of the computer?
Yeah.
So that's better. The phone is, I think, too small. Yeah.
Himadri and Shruti and Saurabh, do you have something?
This, I don't think you've seen. I don't. Stop it. Sorry.
Sorry. I think that. So, in fact, I was just remembering that Anu was trying to persuade Chittu that she must kind of develop a history of her mother's extraordinary, kind of trip from Mombasa to.
You see, mommy laughing. She has no intention of telling anything. Look at her laughing here.
Whenever he came, he wanted me to dig up all the letters and everything.
He wanted to know about you, not about the letters. He wanted to know about your trip from Mombasa to
I told him so many times. Many times?
No, you've not given him details. He wanted details. What you ate, what you wore, what you did.
I don't remember myself. I don't remember it. So many years ago.
He wanted all the fine details, not just the broad thing that she took a ship from Mombasa and got off at Southampton.
As we know, he would have also asked what she ate. That was very important.
He
that
wanted
was
to know
obviously
that.
very important.
Yeah.
I don't remember all those details. It's so many years ago.
Yeah. But there are letters, and Chittu is also looking at letters. She's getting some.
No, the letters are different. They are not related to mummy. They are the ones which Veliachan wrote to my father, or which he wrote, or he wrote in reply to them.
That's a very interesting letter, Chittu. That was a very interesting letter.
Chittu actually shared us a very interesting letter which my grandfather wrote to Gogu Mama, and all his concerns, especially for Sharada Vellima. And I think Chittu is about to share that letter with Shavelima.
I'll email it to Sharvelima. I've got,
back in 1955.
55, right. Yeah.
It's a really fascinating letter.
I'll send it to you, Narayani Hetty also.
Yes, please.
The
Because I
letter, one
remember
letter
that time.
Valentina had written to Papa. So it's about, he was saying, what is the matter? Why haven't you written for so long? And then this whole thing about.
Yeah.
Right.
I have sold letters which he wrote to me when I was 6 years old. Or
Oh.
5 years old. Yeah, my grandfather's. Yeah. Just write a single sheet of paper. They need little letters.
He had very nice writing, and it reminded me a bit of Gopal Mama's writing. When I was looking at the writing, I remember receiving letters from Mama. And
But the writing is not so easy to read, Chidu.
No, but with, now you can magnify things, you can put it in
That's
Spanish.
okay, but yeah.
So it took a little effort. It took a little
Yeah,
effort.
it takes a little time, yeah.
Actually, now that I think of it, Annu's writing was a bit like that. A bit like Valechan's,
And it's very tiny. Annu's writing is very tiny. Yeah. It is tiny. It's kind of even. Very even. Very even. That's true. All those little notebooks of his. We have to have a look at them.
You haven't yet seen what Himadri wrote. Sorry, we're just putting together the compilation. So there's Himadri's piece as well. So he talked about how.
So that I have not yet seen, because I know there are more tributes and memories and all are coming in.
Yeah.
So I
I
love reading yours, Ramzi, Niharika. I really enjoy it. It's because it's from earliest kind of memories, coming down to.
And I don't know, now I realize when I read Himadri's piece, why he was such a kind of figure, because I used to hear about both of you, but Himadri's written about how he used to visit Baba in the 70s. He said, I remember him as this very young and always smiling uncle who would visit our house and hold long discussions on complex historical topics with Baba and my mother. And he said, I got used to him being in Delhi, though now it seems it was only 2 years. So I felt sad when I was told he's going to Calcutta. And he went on, and then he talked about meeting him in Southern Avenue and him smiling behind the grill and so on. So, yeah.
I remember also this first thing, this letter Amma wrote to Narayani Erti, that please be at the airport to collect him. And in fact, if I remember Narayani Erti, there's also that you wore a particular color of cardigan or something like the other, so she could identify you. Is that right? I have some memory.
Where was this, in England or here?
At Gatwick.
Oh, in England. Huh? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yes, I remember that very well. It was a very grey day, and he was walking along, striding down, and a kind of, here I am, come to conquer England.
That's right. Yeah. It's actually, he had to move around. And the way he came back to India was something else. He was out there for 7 or 8 years, and then he came, and then kind of adapted rapidly. It is quite remarkable. Teaching in Ramjas College, and a year later, after he joined Calcutta University, he made sure he would come and give a refresher class to the kids he taught, but whom he had not been able to teach right through the exam time. But he came and gave some refresher classes to them, and they still remember. So I actually have got letters from at least one of them from that time back in 1978.
But Chidu, wherever he went, he learned the language. He's learning Hindi when he was here, and then immediately went to Calcutta. He was amazing that way. He had no inhibitions speaking. He would try.
Yeah.
And I remember he used to always say he used to read these Hindi novels going on the Rajdhani from Delhi to Calcutta. And they were all these, the pulp, what yellow penny dreadful types, and he would enjoy them. Reading all that, and it's amazing reading all that Hindi. I find reading Hindi tiring.
Very, very deferentially, sir. I don't know, like Chidu and Radhika, they keep trying to educate me about detective fiction, but I'm still stuck in the 1920s.
That's true. No, but you're probably right. It's not. He did read the more contemporary stuff which we introduced him to, but he was actually always going back to all this 20s, 30s. And stuff which Amma would also introduce him to. There's a guy, I remember E. Phillips Oppenheimer or something like that, who was a 1920, 40. So he'd actually enjoy going back to these older texts, actually. But he would be reading the new ones as well. Yeah. And all the
children read a lot of that Mazo de la Roche, Chidu?
Which one?
Did she read those Jalna series, Mazo de la Roche?
I remember those from my childhood.
I don't know, darling. What is it?
But did you? I thought
very old family saga, no?
yes, this is a family saga. Yeah, yeah.
But this from my teenage years.
Maison.
Yeah, but
Lying
I
around in the
thought
house.
maybe I saw Anu reading it or your mother reading it or something maybe. I'm not sure.
Well, children's fiction or so-called children's fiction. He was always up on it, because down
right.
to Harry Potter and all that, he actually read and read everything carefully, extremely carefully, in terms of actually the intricacy of the story and character. It could be you could be talking to him about Jane Austen, or he could be talking to him about Harry Potter. It would be the same diligence and kind of care of reading would be taking place. So that was something else.
That I didn't know.
Yes,
the
Harry Potter.
Approach to me, I just cannot understand. I sent him, I had found a funny recipe for Latvian stew in a book which he had not read, which is said A Day at the Metropole. So I sent him the reference of the book, and I also sent him a reference for the recipe. And he wrote back and said, Madam, comma, apricots, exclamation mark, prunes, exclamation mark. That's all. And I went to phone him and say, what on earth are you talking about? And I never got around to it. Yeah,
so this Metropole is this Metropole is very heritage hotel. Is it this heritage hotel in Moscow? Metropole?
Metropole, yeah, that's right. So he sent my letter on to Raghavan, who he had stayed with this, both of them had stayed at the Metropole last year. But this
exactly.
reference to apricots and prunes, I'm lost. Maybe then they're rather exotic fruit or something, I don't know.
Right. But I remember Raghavan was so thrilled having Anu as a companion on that trip to Moscow, because he said he just lit up this whole city came to life, its history and everything like that. And I think
Everybody says that Kostumichi was also saying that. I don't think she wrote it, but she said that Kostumichi, Kosturi, my aunt, Kasturi, she was saying when I first went to England, I think it must have been on 71, some very early date, and he told her, guided through, and he told exactly what streets to go to, what to enjoy. She said everything came alive to me, all because of him. And
I also noticed this peculiar thing, which I always would get lost in. I mean, he knew the intricacy of how to move in a city through all these by lanes and kind of side streets. And he himself is not a driver, by and large. He didn't hardly drove. But he could actually kind of suggest where to go, what thing to avoid, which street would be difficult. And it would be some strange, it seemed like a small alley or something like that. You'd be kind of transiting through. But he had this peculiar kind of geographical sense about Cal, for sure. And maybe that was generally, I don't know how he pulls those kind of things off. That kind of observational skill is a different type of thing.
Directions to Matthias. He said, it was like you go like this.
Chidu, is it okay if we just stop now?
Of course. No, sorry.
Yeah.
It was lovely to see Indomai. Lovely to see Indomai. Thank you so much.
Bye. Okay. Yeah. We'll do this again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Bye.
Definitely. Yeah.
Bye, Narayani.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye. So this is nice, and it should be viable, maybe, to do this kind of thing. That means I'm now. I noticed Tapati's family do it regularly. This Guha Takruta ensemble. They do it because they distribute it across the planet, it seems, or something like that. I don't know. But they have their Zoom meetings, and many people from different places coming together, and they do it regularly. But this has been so nice just to be able to kind of chat, and it's been so frustrating not being able to talk, about to people who knew him. And
no, but I think the seeing each other was the best thing. I mean, for even on the phone, it hasn't got that. Thank you so much, Chidu, for setting it up. Thank you very much. It was lovely.
It's so lovely to see all of you, and hope to see you soon. Hope to see you again soon.
We'll do it again.
Bye, Himadri. Bye, Shruti. Bye, Saurabh. Thanks a lot.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, Harika. Bye.
I'm ending the chat now.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.